Check us out on Facebook.
Here we are, ready to go.
All right, it's it. That's it. Welcome to this week's edition. I was telling someone to check us out because it's our final time this week. Deals revealed, top restaurant sales, news, listing, franchise opportunities. I'm Robin Gagnon.
Welcome, I'm Rob Morrison, bringing you the biggest news of the week. Whether you're buying your first restaurant, selling a business you've built over decades, investing in multi-unit concepts, or even leading a franchise brand, this is absolutely the show designed specifically for you.
All right, and one thing makes this show very different, Rob. Most restaurant industry reports are telling you what happened months ago.
Right.
We're going to tell you what is happening right now. So drop your questions in the comments and we can answer them live.
Yeah, if you're watching live, say hello, let us know where you're tuning in from, or if you're catching a replay sometime in the future, type replay so we know that you stopped by.
All right, let's dive in. You ready?
Yes, indeed.
What's happening in the restaurant marketplace? Here are the top insights. We're going to dig into the June Restaurant Resale Report.
Yeah, you're turning it right around there. This week we're leading with the newly released June Restaurant Resale Report, as Robin just said. June was our second strongest sales month this year, trailing only January, and more importantly, it gave us an early look at where the restaurant resale market is heading. Unlike reports that simply summarize past transactions, our report follows buyers throughout the purchasing process, measuring where they're searching, what they're requesting, and ultimately what they're buying.
Yes, and three themes really stood out, Rob. First, the Southern Boom Belt.
Yeah.
It's dominating restaurant buying activity. Secondly, Florida. We're in Florida today. It's the nation's strongest market for converting buyer interest into completed sales. And third, franchise restaurant resales dramatically accelerated during this month.
Yeah, so let's put some numbers behind that. Nearly 3/4 of the restaurants we sold during June were located in this boom belt, the high growth states stretching from the southeast to south central U.S. And those same states generated more than 3/4 of all buyer inquiries and nearly 90% of signed confidentiality agreements. Remarkable alignment between buyer interest and actual sales.
You know what's happening is it's this population growth happening there that is fueling restaurant ownership. As people move into these markets, entrepreneurs follow. So existing operators, they expand, investors begin acquiring locations. So the result is exactly what we're seeing in our restaurant brokerage business. More buyers, more transactions, and more opportunities.
And we just happen to be perfectly located.
Yes.
Florida deserves special attention. Nearly 1 out of every 3 restaurants we sold during June was located here in Florida. Extraordinary concentration of activity, and for sellers, it means qualified buyers continue entering the market. For buyers, competition is increasing for quality opportunities.
Listen, that other headline, we talked about this, franchise restaurants. Franchise resales were nearly half of everything sold during June, and that's a significant increase over historical averages. So what's driving that, right? Economic uncertainty often pushes buyers towards these brands because they have established operating systems, existing customer bases, and franchisor support. So buying an existing franchise location also can cost substantially less than building that new restaurant from the ground up.
Makes sense. And another trend continues to hold. Affordable restaurants remain the strongest segment of the market. Nearly 3/4 of our June transaction closed below $250,000. And the listings generating the greatest buyer interest shared 4 characteristics. Turnkey, priced below $100,000.
Wow.
Attractive occupancy, right? Good rent. And their marketing clearly communicated value.
So those aren't just statistics. They're actionable insights. And throughout today's show, you'll see listings and recent sales that illustrate why those trends matter. So let's start with what's making headlines across the restaurant industry this week.
All right. You know what's making a big splash is our top listings. Every week we're featuring restaurants that represent some of the best opportunities currently available all across the country. And this week's selections couldn't be more different, but they do also reflect what we discussed in the June Restaurant Resale Report. Operating businesses, realistically priced, and they offer buyers the opportunity to step into an established operation instead of starting from scratch. So let's take a look.
All right, what connects all three is this: proven performance. They're not empty shells, they're not unproven ideas. Everyone is open, operating, and generating revenue right now. You're buying momentum, not a maybe.
That's right. So first up, let's look at listing 40895 in Beaufort, South Carolina. It's represented by Chase Klaus, and it's listed at $550,000. This is the headline: a full-service restaurant doing more than $1.8 million in sales and approximately $378,000 in annualized owner benefit. That's a rare level of profitability at that asking price. Business is fully staffed, professionally managed, and built on years of loyal repeat customers. Vendor relationships established, systems are in place, and the transition to setup will be smooth. There's still room to grow through private dining, catering, or special events. If you've been waiting for a true cash flow opportunity, this is it.
Wow, those kinds of sales and earnings, and still room to grow.
Did I say, or is it Beaufort or Beaufort in South
Beaufort.
Carolina? Okay.
Yeah, you said it right. So, next listing, 41130 in Tallahassee, Florida, represented by the Homes team. Listen to this, just $50,000.
Okay.
Second generation space is currently set up for pizza. It's doing $994,000 in sales. But the real story is flexibility. 2,498 square feet, seating for 45, plus a patio, and the kitchen is fully loaded. Hood system, grease trap, walk-in coolers, ovens, fryers, dish machine, and point of sale system. The rent's just $36.40 per month with a lease through May 2027 and a renewal option.
Right.
Someone going in, they can keep the pizza concept, bring their own vision, whether it's a cafe, deli, bakery, or fast casual. And by the way, only $50,000, but we have lending up to $500,000 for qualified buyers.
That's a lot of operating capital.
Yes.
And our third listing is listing 40843 in Florence, Kentucky. It's represented by Steve and Cindy Weinbaum, and it's listed at $125,000. This one is a certified pre-owned fast casual franchise, has a drive-through, and it's been open and operating for more than 20 years. Sales came in last year at $691,000, positive earnings, and here's the kicker: the current owner is absentee, which means high labor costs. So a full-time owner-operator should be able to double those earnings. 2,100 square foot space, it seats 72. Rent is right around $6,000 per month through 2032. That's an all-in number. And the franchise carries a very reasonable 4.5% royalty. Both the seller and the franchisor provide training, so you can step in fully prepared on day one.
Wow. 3 different concepts: $550,000 cash flow machine in Beaufort, $50,000 blank canvas in Tallahassee, and $125,000 franchise with a drive-through in Kentucky. All live right now at WeSellRestaurants.com. Hit complete package on any listing that catches your eye. The financials, the broker, next steps, they're just one click away. Don't sit on these.
All right, so we have some insights for sellers right now, and what are we seeing right now? It isn't the price, it isn't financing. Usually surprises sellers.
Yeah, so those are things that can actually derail a listing. And so each week we kind of lean into what are we hearing from restaurant owners. And this is something that rarely gets attention until it's almost too late. And, the lease, Rob, that's what you've said many times, has deals that make these has issues that make these deals fall apart. It's lease issues, not pricing.
Yeah, we got to get out in front of it when we can, because buyers aren't just purchasing a restaurant, they're purchasing the right to operate in that location. If the lease doesn't support the transaction, everything else becomes much harder. You can have a profitable restaurant, qualified buyer, financing all set up and an agreed upon purchase price. But if the lease or the landlord creates uncertainty, the lenders hesitate, buyers get a little skittish, they lose their confidence, and the transaction slows down or falls apart. So, what are buyers looking for?
So the first thing, they want term, right? There has to be remaining lease term. Lenders often, very as they should, want the lease to extend equal to the term of the loan. And as a general rule, buyers should have at least 5 years of lease protection through the existing term or renewal option. So if your lease expires in 2 or 3 years, it creates an unnecessary concern. And the thing is, it's fixable. Sellers can do this, go to the landlord before they ever put the restaurant on the market.
That's exactly right. One conversation with the landlord today makes the business significantly more marketable 6 months down the road. An extension gives buyers confidence, and it gives the lenders that same confidence. And it often increases the value of the business because buyers know they're purchasing a stable location.
So if you're thinking about selling over the next year, review the lease. Don't wait until the buyer finds something you could have addressed months earlier. Just visit WeSellRestaurants.com. Have one of our certified restaurant brokers help you. We'll prepare you before your restaurant goes on the market.
Okay, that's some insight for sellers. What about buyers? One of the biggest mistakes first-time buyers often make is shopping for a restaurant based only on asking price. Why, Robin, is that the wrong approach?
Well, listen, the price doesn't tell you what the business can provide its next owner. A restaurant listed for $300,000 that produces $250,000 in earnings will be a much better value than a restaurant listed for $100,000 with little or no documented cash flow. The question isn't what does it cost? It's what does it earn?
An owner benefit is the number that the buyers should be focused in on. What is owner benefit other than, in addition to the net earnings?
Yeah, so owner benefit, sometimes it's called seller's discretionary earnings. It's a total financial benefit available to one full-time owner-operator. So it's the profit, plus the owner's compensation, certain discretionary expenses, maybe donations or things he pays himself personally, and any one-time costs that wouldn't continue after the sale.
Right, so buyers should compare earnings before they compare asking prices.
Yeah, price, it's easy. That may get the attention, but verified cash flow, that's where you create confidence. And that's why our certified restaurant brokers work with sellers to document that financial performance before the restaurant goes to market.
Buyers should also be prepared to act when the right opportunity becomes available. Understand your investment range, speak with lenders early, and review the financials. All right, we have some featured sold restaurants to talk about. Yeah, we're celebrating 2 sales that could not look more different on paper. One involved an urgent health situation in Cape Coral, Florida. The other was a Georgia listing that had been on the market for...
Dahlonega.
Thank you. It had been on the market for 3 years there in Dahlonega. Both are now officially sold and closed.
Okay, different markets, hard to pronounce markets, different timelines and challenges, but both demonstrate why experience, strategy, and access to qualified buyers matter.
Okay, let's go to the one that I can pronounce. This was in Cape Coral, Florida, and it was sold and closed by certified restaurant broker Dave Whitcomb of We Sell Restaurants, Florida, Naples. The seller had built a strong business but needed to exit quickly because of some serious health concerns. David understood the urgency, knew exactly how to position the location without sacrificing the value that the seller had created.
Interesting. Dave had sold the same restaurant before. He understood the trade area. He knew the restaurant infrastructure. He actually knew which buyers would recognize its potential. And he went straight to an experienced franchisee he was aware of with 26 locations across 4 brands. And now this space, which the seller had an urgent need to exit, is converting into a Hungry Howie's Pizza. So the buyer's expanding and reducing construction costs and the time required to open.
Yeah.
You want me to take the next one?
Sure, but that's just, Dave knows his market so well.
He absolutely does.
He's like the mayor of Naples.
I love it. Okay, second featured listing. It's 28882. It's in Dahlonega, Georgia, sold and closed by certified restaurant broker Robert Klaus of We Sell Restaurants, Georgia Northeast. Listen, this restaurant had been on the market for 3 years, not with us,
Hmm.
because there were 2 previous brokers that had been unable to close a deal. So Robert did more than just relist the restaurant. He repositioned the opportunity around its strongest advantages, including that historic downtown Dahlonega, the university, wine tourism, which is happening there, steady visitor traffic. Goes back to what you said about Dave. He knows his market. Then he targeted experienced multi-unit owners already expanding in North Georgia, talked to one of those buyers who recognized the opportunity. And this listing that struggled for 3 years to get a buyer with other brokers closed successfully with We Sell Restaurants.
Way to go, Robert. 2 completed sales, 2 very different stories. One required speed and local connections. The other required a fresh strategy and the right audience.
That's the value. You work with a certified restaurant broker. If your restaurant hasn't sold it, it's not the business. It could be the positioning, the pricing, the marketing, or buyer outreach. And a certified restaurant broker at WeSellRestaurants.com can help you plan that exit successfully.
Okay, we have some brand new listings we want to talk about. They're just hitting the market just this week. One offering outstanding lifestyle flexibility, and the other delivers impressive sales volume backed by a nationally recognized franchise.
Yeah, both demonstrate that trend we were talking about that we've been seeing since 2026. Buyers increasingly want businesses already operating successfully. They want to purchase momentum rather than spending months building from the ground up.
Okay, so first, let's take a look at listing 41182. It's in Marietta, Georgia, and it's represented by Jeff and Kim Height, and it's listed for $175,000. Neighborhood cafe, strong example of a lifestyle entrepreneurship, operates Monday through Friday from breakfast through lunch. No late nights, no alcohol, no weekend schedule. Even with those limited operating hours, Cafe is producing more than $67,000 in verified owner benefit. It's exactly the kind of opportunity many first-time buyers are searching for, providing both income and that quality of life. Cafe is already operating successfully, so the next owner can step right into an established business rather than spending months building a concept from the ground up.
All right, now let's talk about listing 41110 in Westminster, Colorado, represented by Bob Steinberger and listed for $139,000. It's an established franchise business on pace to exceed, get this, 7 figures, $1 million in annual sales, only offered for $139,000. It's an excellent example of why franchise resales are so attractive. The buyer, he's getting an established customer base, a trained staff, franchise support, proven operating systems, and a business already generating significant revenue. So those buyers who want to avoid starting from zero love opportunities like that. They certainly deserve serious consideration. The infrastructure, brand recognition, and operating momentum already in place.
2 brand new listings offering 2 very different paths to ownership. One provides a weekday lifestyle and verified earnings, and the other offers significant sales volume backed by an established franchise brand.
And guess what? Both available right now at WeSellRestaurants.com. Click Get Complete Package on either opportunity. You'll get detailed financial information and connect directly with the listing broker.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about our core values this week. We like to hear from the folks we're working for.
Absolutely. You know, the transaction is only part of the story. What buyers and sellers remember after the closing table is how they were treated along the way. So this week we're hearing from 2 clients, and there's a fun coincidence here. Both reviews, we're talking about brokers named Jason, but they're Jasons in 2 totally different markets. Don't confuse them.
Right. 2 states, 2 deals, 1 standard of service. So let's hear what these clients had to say.
Okay, so first, Sean Bowling, he sold his Jamba Juice and Auntie Anne's locations with We Sell Restaurants, Frisco, Texas, and that Jason is Jason Coleman. He had this to say: 5 stars isn't enough for Jason at We Sell Restaurants. We had a very difficult transaction selling our Jamba Auntie Anne's locations, and Jason, he was the glue that held it all together. He went completely out of his way, even helping the buyers uncompensated when they needed guidance just to ensure the deal closed. From jumping on 8:30 p.m. weekly calls to answering questions day or night, His dedication is incredible. If you need a business broker who will relentlessly push your franchise deal to the finish line, Jason is your guy.
Yeah, he really does have a very calm disposition. I always feel calmer after I talk to him. So he was the glue that held it all together. That's what a certified restaurant broker does on difficult deals. Notice what Sean pointed out, that he was helping out the buyers at 8:30 p.m.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, jumping on calls, answering questions day and night. Franchise resales can be complicated, like we heard, with the franchisor and the landlord, lender, two parties all needing to line up. Jason kept every piece moving until it closed, and it's a dedication that you simply can't fake.
All right, so let's talk about another Jason and a review for Northwest Arkansas. Steve Hultepin worked with Ty and Jason of Team Tyson, and he had this to say. Ty and Jason are the go-to guys if you want to sell your restaurant in the Bentonville area. They respond quickly, they are always available, and are just really nice guys.
True.
If you're thinking about buying or selling a restaurant, do yourself a favor and call these guys.
Yeah, that one's good. Short and to the point. Honestly, that review says everything you need. Responsive, available, genuinely good people to work with. Selling a restaurant, we know, can be stressful. Who you go through it with matters. And when a client's advice to the whole market is to do yourself a favor and call those guys, that's a reputation you build one deal at a time.
Absolutely. 2 markets, 2 Jasons.
And a tie.
Yes, and a tie. 2 clients who felt supported from start to finish, whether the deal was a complex multi-brand franchise sale or a local restaurant in Bentonville. That's the We Sell Restaurant standard, and it shows up in every territory every time.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the opportunity to work with us at We Sell Restaurants. Every week we want to talk about the restaurants that are changing hands, but as you know now, behind every listing and closing is a certified restaurant broker.
Named Jason.
Right, we have several of those. They make it happen. So let's talk about potentially becoming one of them.
You know, there's never been a more interesting time to enter a restaurant brokerage across the country. Owners are retiring, pursuing new opportunities, growing through acquisition, or preparing to sell businesses they spent years building. So every transition, it creates an opportunity for a professional who understands the industry.
Yeah, our June Restaurant Resale Report confirmed exactly what we're seeing. Franchise resales representing nearly half of our June closings. Buyer demand remains strong, and the need for specialized restaurant brokers continues to grow.
We Sell Restaurants. We're not traditional real estate. We're not general business brokers. Restaurants are all we do. Our systems, training, marketing, technology, and processes specifically designed for restaurant transactions.
As a We Sell Restaurants franchise partner, you stay connected to the restaurant industry without running a restaurant. You help owners sell and qualified buyers step into ownership, sometimes for the first time.
Yes, and our franchise partners, they include former restaurant owners, multi-unit operators, hospitality executives, sales professionals, lenders. Overall, though, they're just entrepreneurs.
Yes.
They understand restaurants and enjoy helping others achieve their goals.
Right, so we provide the systems, national marketing, the technology, the training, and access to a buyer database developed over more than 2 decades. Not starting from scratch, the tools, resources, and the brand foundation are already in place.
And you also gain a different lifestyle. If you're in the restaurant business, you're connected to an industry you know without managing a kitchen, carrying inventory, working late nights and holidays. We call it the restaurant business with banker's hours.
Yeah, so if you've considered owning a business that combines hospitality, sales, consulting, and entrepreneurship, we'd welcome the opportunity to speak with you. Just visit WeSellRestaurants.com, select franchise opportunity, and explore available territories all across the country.
All right, so Rob, I'm going to jump in here because we spend a lot of time on this show speaking with buyers and sellers, but this next segment is for franchise executives who might be watching. Franchise development gets most of the attention, but resales just as important.
Absolutely. Every franchisee exits eventually. Some retire, some relocate, others decide it's just time for something new. The question's not whether resales will happen, it's whether your brand has a strategy for managing them.
And our June Restaurant Resale Report showed that franchise restaurants were nearly 50% of all the June sales. That tells us owners are transitioning in significant numbers and buyers are interested in acquiring those established franchise locations.
Buyers see the value in purchasing and operating business with existing customers, trained employees, proven systems, and the support of a recognized brand. And in many cases, that can be more attractive than starting a new location from the ground up.
They come from a different place of risk. They don't want to begin from the ground up. They want to take something open and operating.
Yeah.
But not every franchise system has a structured resale process. They leave outgoing franchisees unsure where to turn, while development teams become responsible for resale questions. That's not really their primary role.
That's not what they do, right? They're focused elsewhere. And that's where we come in. We sell restaurants, identifying qualified buyers, confirming financial capability, coordinating with lenders and landlords, and managing due diligence, keeping everyone informed throughout the transaction. Franchise development team can remain focused on awarding new locations while our certified restaurant brokers manage the resale process.
Yes, this successful resale program, it protects more than the individual restaurant. It helps keep the location open, of course, preserves jobs, supports royalty revenue, but most importantly, it maintains the brand's presence in the market.
Yeah. So resales shouldn't be treated as just simply admin work. They're a strategic opportunity to protect market share, support outgoing operators, and of course, welcome qualified new franchisees into the system.
Interested in knowing more? If you're in franchise development, visit WeSellRestaurants.com and select 4 franchisors to learn how we help franchise brands manage restaurant resales across the country.
Wow, that went fast.
It went very fast because we were talking about so many fun things.
I guess you're right. I like that.
Yeah. All right. I think that's going to wrap it up. This week's top sales, listings, franchise opportunities. Remember, if you're buying, selling, or interested in exploring career in restaurant brokerage, there's a team here that can help.
Yeah. Great deals move quickly, so click the link in the comments or visit WeSellRestaurants.com to learn more.
If you enjoyed today's show, please hit that thumbs up, share it with someone interested in restaurant ownership.
And follow our page so you never miss a new listing. We'll be back next Friday with more updates.
Have a great weekend, and remember, our name says it all. We sell restaurants.